Hello, I'm Richard Hooper and this is SatTV Week. Now I'm here on the Isle of Man at ICM Group, where I'm pleased to be joined by Sarah Fry and Ranulf Lucas. Now, can you tell me a little bit more about what ICM does and its involvement in the space sector?
ICM is a corporate service provider. We look after mainly high net worth clients, predominantly in the yachting and aviation sector. But we've just recently become more interested in space as a niche for us. And this is more of a corporate client. But we've been taking a lot of time to investigate the industry, become familiar with it, and we hope that we can service more of those clients going forward.
Now, are there any downsides to the small island community?
None really, to be honest. I mean, we all kind of know each other in the industries. We all know exactly who needs to be spoken to for legal advice or insurance or anything specific, and if we don't know them personally, we'll certainly know where to go exactly. So certainly it speeds up things, it makes things a lot more efficient because we know exactly where to go. As Sarah was saying, the corporate service provider sector, I mean, basically our industry is the management of high value assets, which often create some kind of revenue. So whilst obviously space business is slightly different in terms of it's not based anywhere terrestrial, still ultimately is a high value asset which requires prudent, diligent management, making sure that legal and legislative factors are taken into account. There's insurance, there's finance, and it's all easily accessible on the island.
But what are the key factors driving it forward? I mean, as we've said, it's a small island community. Mm-hmm. How do you attract people here of the right calibre to carry on driving this forward?
I think in relation to space business, we've worked very closely with the Manx government. There's been lots of initiatives in that area, and that's helped considerably. I think they've had a very strategic approach to attracting business to the island, and they've included lots of areas, lots of businesses in that approach, and we've been made aware of the type of clients that might want to come to the island, and we've all got together and considered what services we can offer them. And I think it's an attractive proposition for a client to come to the island. We've got quite a lot of expertise in lots of different areas, and so we were able to offer the whole package.
Perception outside of the Isle of Man is it's all about financial services. Mm-hmm. I mean, how do you change that trend, get people thinking outside of that manufacturing, space-based centre?
I think it's just a gradual change. It can't be overnight, and I think it's about education. It's about making sure that message is getting through, and I think there's a number of ways that you can do that. I think the government is quite successful in getting those messages across, but I think you have to do it in a very targeted way, and I guess some of that is where they attend seminars, where they the various sort of satellite conventions, those kind of shows that take place is where that message is getting through. And I personally attended a course at the ISU, and I was very impressed that the sort of Isle of Man knowledge was already there at that university. They were very much aware of what the island was doing, and I think we far exceeded our competitors on that. That message was clearly getting through to the students.
I mean, if you think 50 years ago, the main industries on the Isle of Man were tourism, fishing and farming. If we'd had to rely on those, we'd be in quite a dire situation, I would imagine, nowadays. So we've already adapted very quickly. We've evolved in a very short period of time, to be honest, to actually be quite well placed as a country in its own right, with actually quite a varied and diverse economy.
I think you're right. I think the strength of the island is how adaptive we are. I think we've had a history of changing as the economy and industries have changed, and I think that is a strength. I think we're proactive. I think we spot opportunities and we work hard to take advantage of them.
You have an enviable regulatory regime here, which is very strong. How important is that, not just for the space sector, but for other sectors as well?
I think it's immensely important. Our reputation is everything, and I think we need to demonstrate to anyone that does business here, that they're operating in a very safe, well-regulated environment, and that, for instance, at ICM in the corporate service world, our regulator makes many inspections. We have to meet lots of training requirements. That's an important side, and I think that is a strong selling point for the island.
What do you see as the future developments over the next 12 to 24 months?
I think in some ways it's more of the same, and I think it's a difficult global economy, but I think in the end we have to continue working in a robust jurisdiction, offering very strong services, and meeting the needs of the clients. And I think that's where we do quite well. I think we're small enough to react to the changes as they occur, but we offer consistent service. I think that's where I see us continuing.
The island as a whole didn't go into recession over the past 5 years of the credit crunch or so. That demonstrates clearly that we know what we're doing. We're very well managed by our government, and our employment and business sectors as a whole are very strong. So, to be honest, keeping on doing what we've been doing, I would say, is actually not a bad thing at all. I would say it's a good thing.
Sarah, Ranulf, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.